everyone, welcome to another free family art project. I am here at Miss Sue's house and we're going to do a project together. Well, Miss Sue's really going to do the project and I'm going to kind of help talk you through it. But before we start this watercolor project today, I wanted to talk a little bit about upcoming events for kids at the studio. So, I guess our neighbor's going to be mowing the lawn. Sorry, I'm going to have to speak up a little bit. But we're going to be offering 4 summer camps this summer. We're going to be offering 2 in July, 1 virtual, and 1 in studio. And then we're also going to be offering 2 in August, 1 in studio and 1 virtual. Now, for the virtual camps, we're going to try and do something a little special. For our July summer virtual camp, we're going to be having a Harry Potter theme. So here is just one of the many examples of the things that Miss Sue is going to teach you. And then for our August virtual summer art camp, the theme is going to be Star Wars. So our virtual camps that are going to be online are going to have themes, but then we're still going to be offering the in-studio camps for both July and August. And of course, Miss Sue, like always, is going to teach them for us. So you'll be seeing that all of that posted, all of the information within like the next few days. So keep an eye on our Facebook and our Studio 23 website to get all of that information. Otherwise, let's get started. This is the project that Miss Sue is going to walk you through. Now, the first part of this project would be walking around your yard and doing an outside scavenger hunt. And you'd want to look for different leaves, maybe even flowers, any kind of different plants like this, that you can find and that you want to collect to create your piece with. So this is step 1, your scavenger hunt. And then now Miss Sue is going to take you through the actual art project itself. So let me go ahead and adjust the camera so you can see exactly what she's doing, and we'll get started.
Okay, so hi everybody. I'm not sure if I can talk as loud as Miss Autumn does, but I will try. All right. Okay. So you can see I've got a piece of paper here. Now my piece of paper is watercolor paper because I'm going to use watercolor. But again, you don't have to use watercolor paper. You could use like a cardstock or whatever kind of paper you have around your house. You're just going to want something that you're going to be able to put a wet medium like watercolor onto. So I've already done my walk around the yard. I've already got a bunch of different things. I made sure that what I have here are all different shapes because I think it makes it more interesting when you have different types of shapes. So what I like to do, I'm outside. You can see I actually have my watercolor paper. I have it taped down. When you're outside working, it's best to tape down anything you can. I even have a piece of paper towel here. You're going to need paper towel because we're using watercolor. I even have a little piece of tape on that, and I have it taped to the side of my table because I don't want that to take off. So I even put a little piece of tape on some of these. Now on this one, I've got a little piece of tape underneath. On this one, I think I'll put a piece of tape right over it. And you can see the real difference in the styles of the leaves that I'm using.
Now, Miss Sue, when you put those on your paper and you're arranging it, do you have to keep them separate or can you layer some of those leaves on top of each other?
Okay, so that's a good question, Miss Autumn. You can definitely layer. Let me take this big leaf out here. Again, you can not only layer, but it can go right off of your paper. It does not have to stay right on your paper. So that's a good thing to know. You don't have to You don't have to leave everything where you set it. You can leave some things that are going right off the side. I do also have some of these little pieces, but I find with this technique it's easier to just draw these on. So if you have an extra place where you need to put a little something extra, you can use those. So I've got a pretty nice design going here. What I'm going to need also now is this is what we call a Watercolor Resist, and you've done these before with Miss Autumn. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to either need oil pastels or I'm going to need crayons. Let me pull this smaller one here. I think I'm going to do a smaller one so that I can do some other things here. Okay, so I've got oil pastels and I have them in a limited palette today. You can use whatever colors you want, but I'm going to use a yellow. I've got a couple different colors of greens. I've got a brown and I've got a white. That white looks pretty bad. And for my students out there that have worked with me before, I think you will remember how to do this. If we need to clean off an oil pastel, we are just going to take it and we are going to rub it on our paper towel until we get a clean spot. And it doesn't all have to be clean, but some place where I'm not getting all these extra colors, especially on my white. So what you're going to do is find what you need, and I'll give you another real quick tip here. I also like to, if I'm going to do this type of a project, I also like to take my leaves, whatever I find, and I like to set them inside of a book for the night, overnight. You can use them just the way you pick them out of the yard, but I like it like that because it helps them to set down for me. I put them in a book and I put something on top of it, and so they're nice and flat when I go to use them. So I'm going to first take out my dark green, and you want a dark color when you're tracing around these. So I've got a dark green, and I'm simply going to take that green and start tracing the shape of my leaves. That's why I want so many different styles and shapes of my leaves. And you can see I don't have to go right up against the leaf. I can actually leave a little bit of an outline. Let me come over to this one. If you want to change the color, you can. I'm going to do another one with this green. And the colors, as I said, I made it a limited palette because I want to stick more with maybe some summer type colors, but there are some browns and you will see some reds still out this time of year. So just keep going around these. Now when I have a vein, or if I have a small branch that it attaches to, I will move this out of the way and then I will just draw that in like that. Okay, so maybe let me take my brown for this one. And if I don't know how many of you recognize this leaf, this is actually a dandelion leaf, but it does have a beautiful style to it, so I do like to use those. Let me take another, let's see. Let's do a brown. I don't know what we call these, but I've always called these helicopters because you could throw them up in the air and watch them come down. So I've drawn around this with the brown. Maybe I'll go around this one with the brown. So I've got so many different designs here for my leaves. And I'm pushing down fairly hard because I want this to be a resist. And a resist means that my watercolor is going to resist any place that I have put my oil pastel down. And so I'll just make a line here. Okay, so now when I'm done with this part, I like putting in a few veins. So let me pick this up. You can see I got a piece of tape under there. A tape under my oak leaf. So it really helps keep things here for me. All right, so now I'm gonna put in some designs, and I probably will do some designs, thank you, Miss Autumn, with some different colors. So let me put up some lighter green. I could even put some yellow with that. So we aren't gonna lack any color here. Maybe I'll put, now I never want to color this in all the way. I want to keep room so that when I put down my watercolor for my resist, that I actually can see my watercolor on there. If I color it all in, then you are not going to see what I put down there with my watercolor. Let me put some white in here. So I have a really loud, talkative dog neighbor over there. He likes to come over and talk to me, so that's who you're hearing over there. Okay, so again, I'm going to maybe bring my lighter color green in. Maybe put some white along with that. And I know all the boys and girls always say, Miss Sue, I can't see the white. And I say, yes, but everybody knows you're going to see it as soon as we get our watercolor on there. Okay, so I have some pretty good color going on here. I'm pretty happy with that. Maybe I'll put a little bit of green in this one too. All right, so now I'm going to get my watercolors out. I have a big tub of water here. I have a brush. I also have my smaller brushes here. These are the portable water brushes where you can actually, I don't know if you've used these before, where you can actually take the lid off or take the top off the brush area. You put water inside of there, and then you put that back down, and you're ready to go. And these are great for when you're outside doing maybe some end plane air painting. So these are really nice to have. And I have my big brush here. So what I want to do is I want to get some colors going here. I have some liquid watercolor because they have beautiful colors in them, really vibrant. So these are the liquid watercolors that I've mixed up. I also have my small travel pack here that I use. So I'm going to see what color I want to start with here first. And when I look at what I've already got here, I can see I've got a lot of greens and yellows, a little bit of yellow ochre, maybe a little bit of brown. So I'm going to go with those. When I put on watercolor, it's watercolor, so make sure you're getting lots of water. Oh, you know what I didn't do? I didn't draw one of my designs here, one of these on here. So I like that design, so I'm going to put one right across here. So there, so I've just got that drawn on here. You can do maybe another one over here in the corner. There, okay. So now I want to use a lot of water, and I'm not just going to use one color. I'll probably use a couple of colors. So let me start with some yellow. So I'm going to go around to a couple different places, and I think I'm going to drop some yellow in here. Okay, so then I'm going to get more water. Let me go over here. Maybe I will take some of this color and put it in here. So you can see I'm not just using the one color, but I am using a lot of water. You do want to use a lot of water for this technique. And some people don't even fill in the whole leaf. They like the look of it, of some of it left white. So let's see, I have a color over here. I can even use maybe a little bit of this orange. Drop a little bit of that orange in there. Ooh, I like that. What do you think, Miss Autumn?
Oh, that looks good.
Like that orange in there?
I do. I like that.
And I think I want to put a little green in here too. Now I have to be careful so I'm not muddying my colors. So with the green, I'm going around it a little bit.
So you're avoiding the red with your green. Why is that, Miss Sue?
So for those of you that have taken a class with me, you know what I'm going to say, don't you? I'm going to say that it's opposite on the color wheel. So when you have a color like red is opposite of green on the color wheel, you definitely want to be careful because you're going to get a muddy color. Sometimes that's what you want. It'll gray that color down. But for this, we want some vibrant colors, don't we? Okay, so I think I'm going to put some more here. Oops. And that's why we put tape on everything. With this one, I'm going to start filling it in. Let's see. Let me put a little bit of color in here. And so, let's see. Let me start filling these in a little bit. And all I'm doing with my brush is I'm just tapping. So you can see I'm just tapping with my brush so that I'm not doing too much mixing. And this one is totally different than the last one I did. And that's what I love about this. We don't have to keep these the same. Okay. So now I think I have enough color in there. So what I decided to do, I'm going to use a totally different color, I think, to do the outside today too. This one is done more with just the greens, the yellow, some brown, and then I did a blue background. But I'm thinking I want to do a different background on this one. Let's see. Let's try the red. We have a lot of green in here, so let's try the red. And you can see when I'm painting my watercolor around it, so this is where it's resisting it. It's a little bit darker, but you know that watercolors are going to lighten as they dry. When I'm painting over this design, I can just go right over it because it's going to resist it. Get some more water on here. When you're using watercolors, use a lot of water. And now I'm doing just the background, aren't I? You could add more colors to your background. I like a simple background. The background I'm doing is just strictly one color, so one tone. But you can always vary also, even though you're just using maybe one color, you can always vary how strong the color is, how strong the hue is. So I could put a little bit darker in some areas. That's my value, is darker in here. Maybe around here I'll put some really dark because this is in the corner of my piece. Ooh, I like this red.
I like how the green just pops.
Yeah. Okay. So I do have a little bit of white showing, but I like that. And I think I've got that filled in. So what we have to do is just let it dry. Once it dries, I'll be able to take my tape off it. Let me see if I can carefully take my tape off of it here for you. It dries pretty quickly outside. So I really like all these different designs on here. I don't think he was done mowing the lawn yet, so let's take this off here. And you can see that if you let it dry before you pull this off, you also get a nice frame around your painting. So here's this one. You can let me know which one you like better. And here's this one. Ooh, I love them both. I'm really happy with them. So this is a really nice thing that you can do as a family. It doesn't have to be just the kids. Go out and find all different types of flowers, all different types of leaves. Here's a actual dandelion that I could sit down and trace around. Get out your crayons, get out your watercolors, get out your oil pastels, and try to do one of these. They're a lot of fun, and I think the whole family would enjoy doing this.
Well, thank you so much, Miss Sue, for showing us how to do this outdoor watercolor resist painting. This was a lot of fun, and I hope you all enjoyed our video. And don't forget to check in the next few days for our upcoming virtual themed workshops. Like I said in the beginning, we're gonna have a Harry Potter themed virtual art camp and a Star Wars themed virtual art camp, and then also our regular art camps in July and August. Otherwise, I hope you guys have an absolutely fantastic weekend, and we'll see you next week. Bye.